This is Between Two Phones.
Back here in the Denver studio.
Yes.
The office is actually full today. And
It is.
I start to think about employee engagement. Yes, this is a thing, right?
It is. And it's
What is employee engagement?
Well, it's a critical piece of our modern culture that we have learned, unfortunately, the painful way.
We learned the hard way on this, I feel like. Not
So,
Zoom specifically, but just all organizations as a result of remote working.
Yeah, so with remote working, a couple of side effects happened. One, we were able to pull multi-talented people from all over the country and globe.
Yeah,
That's
geographic boundaries aside. Like,
Yes.
you can find people, if you are in the middle of the farmland in Iowa, or if you are...
But you are phenomenal at this task. We can now bring that in.
I see it gets you choked up just talking about it.
It does. But here's the downside of that exact same thing. So can our competitors.
Yeah, and a lot of employees don't necessarily feel connected to the rest of the workforce when they're working remotely. And this is, I think, a casualty of the remote workforce mentality now. Do we feel as connected as if we went into the office like all these folks here in Denver today?
So thankfully, Zoom does have a solution to this known as Workvivo, and it's an employee engagement tool. And it's a really interesting, so I'm going to equate this to I used to be in leadership at the church, and there was a phrase we would use called closing the back door. And what that meant was we would spend so much time and energy trying to get people to attend church that we forgot to do anything to get them to stay. And they would become engaged for a short time, and then that new feeling would wear off, and they would drift away. The same exact thing happens with employees. We spend so much time and energy and money attracting talent, bringing in good people, but then we get them in the door, and we
do nothing to keep them.
Exactly.
Yep.
And what's happened? All of our competitors, they're spending their time and energy
That's
and money.
right. They're doing the same thing that we were
They're
doing
trying to
originally.
bring them in too. So there was a huge need to go, we need to engage, and we need to do it in a modern way. Pizza parties don't work. They're great. But guess what? What if I'm sitting in West Michigan, I'm hundreds of miles from the office. That's nice that you had a pizza party. I'm really glad to hear that. What do I get to order? Some Little Caesars? So finding new and creative ways to engage is critical.
Yeah, and Workvivo allows us to do this. There's a number of ways that we are able to engage a remote workforce using Workvivo. One of the primary ways is I liken it to a social media type application that is restricted to just our internal workforce. And this is something that I can share updates about my life. I can share updates about my work. I can share shout outs if I want to give you a shout out.
Rewards, absolutely.
It makes a big difference in the lives of other employees when they're engaged with their colleagues in this social media setting. Something that's aside from the big public spectacle that you're used to on Facebook, LinkedIn, the things that are really out there for the entire world to see. Workvivo's not that. It's something that's restricted to more of an internal workforce.
And it should be that trusted time. And really what we're talking about here is that gray time, right? So
Is this water cooler time? Is that how you think of it?
Yeah, so it's not off work time.
Right.
And it's not active at work time. It's that gray time between tasks where my screen's looking at something, or I have this up, and maybe I'm waiting for a loading bar. We've all spent the Microsoft minute that takes an hour, right? So that gray time can be used on more fulfilling things to go, oh, what's going on in the organization? Or it can also be used to bring in a lot of disparate tools from all over. The HR tools for looking up information, the communication tools for knowing when things
kind
are
of an
happening.
intranet type environment?
So it combines all these different sources: rewards, intranet, social networking, tools. Like you can embed Zoom, join a meeting, calls, and things into Workvivo.
Yeah, Workvivo has a Workvivo TV type product as well that is meant for the all hands meetings type things, or even some pre-recorded videos as well that you can simulcast or broadcast on your digital signage, your Zoom rooms, your conference rooms, using Workvivo TV alongside Zoom. The product is near fully integrated into everything that Zoom does. I find this up in my toolbar, the same thing where I go to find meetings, phone, contact center, clips, contacts, chat, everything that's up there across the top bar. I see Workvivo.
Yep.
I click the button and it brings me straight to my Workvivo environment where I can find all of those assets that you just mentioned, like the social media ability, like the shout outs, like the badges, like the rewards, like the Workvivo TV, and everything that's part of our intranet environment as well. So Workvivo is a great product that partners are now able to sell.
Yes. And if you want to learn more about this, please reach out to your channel account manager or your account executive or even your partner solution engineer. We'd love to talk to you more about what Workvivo can do for you and your customers.
Hey, Barb, thank you so much for joining us here on Between Two Phones. Really appreciate you coming to this apparently marble slab table that we have in front of us here.
Quite elaborate.
Barb Walsh is with Shure. And Barb, you're relatively new to Shure as well, aren't you?
Yes, I am, but I've been around in the industry for quite a while. I spent 10 years at Sennheiser, and then the last couple of years at Crestron, and I've been here with Shure for, probably 60 days.
Talking about quality and audio, you definitely have the background to have those discussions.
Absolutely. You sort of demand quality audio after being in this industry, and I'm glad everyone else is catching on for sure. So,
and your role at Shure is what?
So I am the senior specialist for sales development, and my focus is on our Zoom relationship.
I love that. I love we have a dedicated person for this. This is amazing.
Exactly.
So I am speaking to you through my Zoom branded Shure MV7 Plus microphone, and absolutely love this device. Y'all have seen it hopefully on the podcast in our previous episodes. You should know about me that I absolutely love white microphones and silver microphones, so I have a lot of Shure gear in my arsenal. This one is kind of my pride and joy, so I appreciate the partnership here between Zoom and Shure. Phenomenal looking microphone, by the way.
Absolutely. And I wanted to mention something about that microphone that you have right there, just sort of a fun tidbit. We're celebrating our 100-year anniversary at Shure this year, so we're really excited about that.
100 years? 100.
Are you kidding me? We're only 100. Yeah, so we've got a lot of celebrations going on, and we're really celebrating our heritage, and then also looking forward to the future, and also with our relationship with Zoom and Zoom Rooms and unified communications. But this microphone in particular was created because in the beginning of all the podcasts, which now everyone does a podcast, even we're doing one right now, right? So when those first came out, the podcasters really wanted to have that great iconic audio quality of our broadcast microphones. So we created this as it's the go-to podcast microphone now today. So
I love
that's how we listen to our customers. Yeah, and they help create it for us.
The Shure MV7 Plus.
As a history buff, and if this puts you on the spot, I'm sorry, but 100 years. Did Shure start in the audio side? Were they from the very beginning for 100 years?
Well, actually, it's a family business. And Mr. Shure, he started the business in radio. So he started as radio components and then moved into microphones and so forth and evolved to where we are today. But yep, it was started in radio in 1925.
Hey, let's take, so Eric has no idea of what products we are about to unveil, because I've seen some product announcements prematurely from Shure, and I'm excited about this partnership and what has been brought to the Zoom ecosystem. Take us through the couple of new products here on this slide that we're looking at
Okay, so we are very excited. Last week, we announced a couple of new products to our Microflex ecosystem. The first are a group of loudspeakers. Now, these are passive loudspeakers that can be in large rooms, the education environment, and so forth. So if you look at this, you'll see the little black one there. That's a pendant. There's two pendant styles. There's the in the ceiling, however that may fit, and then that little one right here that's sort of a longer version that can be put on each side of a monitor where you'll get the spatial audio. And of course, there's an amp that you'll need if you want to connect all of those together. So those are already available today. We're talking about them at ISE, and we're really excited about them.
Those are awesome. So we're looking at extending that throughout the room in a very obscure way, a very natural, like we don't have to give up the feng shui of a room to add high quality audio into that. I love that. I love the way it looks.
Yeah. So you can configure it how you see fit. You can add to a system you already have. Just to make sure that you're covering the whole room. Those large rooms are hard to really get everybody have equal presence. So this is our solution to it, and we're really excited about it. We in the past had just one of these style of speakers, and now we've got 4. So we're really coming out of the gate with this, and of course, they're Zoom certified.
Take us through the other side of this slide.
Yeah, so the other side is also expanding on our Microflex ecosystem, where we came out with a 2-channel microphone system, and now we've got a next 4 and 8. So we can expand to all sorts of folks in the room. These are really nice because what you can do is mix and match. You can have, a handheld, you can have a gooseneck, you can have a pack. However you want to use this, you can mix and match it. And it's very convenient for you to put it in, like, say, the classroom or large conference rooms where it's ready to go and easily charged with those charging units.
So like when we do our summits and our boot camps and a lot of our events, many times we're wanting interactivity with our partners and sitting in the room. But we also are recording, or if it's large enough space, people can't hear them. So we could station up to 8 of these around the room. Let's say 1 up front for the speaker, maybe 2 for the speaker, and then 6 more, all controlled for that single mechanism as an input into the Zoom room or into the PA system that then is ingested into the Zoom room, and have them all mixed together through that one device. That's phenomenal.
Exactly. And it'll give you the scalable experience that you need for enterprise or higher education or what have you. We're real excited about it. And again, those are going to be available in March. So those are going to come down very soon, but we're talking about those at ISE this week as well.
So for a list of every device that we support with Shure, there's actually a pretty lengthy list. You could simply go out to Google and type in Zoom Rooms supported hardware, and you'll see Shure on the list there. There's probably, I don't know, a dozen, maybe 2 dozen devices that are already certified with a Shure configuration guide on our corporate website. So feel free, type that in. You'll find a list of everything that Zoom has certified with Shure, and some new devices on the way as well. Barb, thank you so much for joining us here today. Really appreciate you taking the time out to chat with us, and looking forward to a great Zoom and Shure relationship going forward.
Thank you so much for having us. We really appreciate the partnership.
Cheers. Cheers, amigo. I'm glad we're here. It's nice and warm in the office.
Not so much outside. So like a new
glad
location.
I'm glad we're doing Beers with Engineers indoors at the office. Hey, it is after hours though. So
It is. We're not working.
we're off the clock. But I would like to thank the fine folks at Coors in Golden, Colorado for supplying us with the banquet beer. Cheers, amigo. Again.
Yes.
Then thud on the table.
So my good friend
what's on
Jess
your mind this
Whittington.
afternoon? Yeah, tell me.
I've been to Golden.
Oh, have you? Yeah, I think you told me some interesting stories about that.
Yes, I did.
If you're ever so fortunate to share a beer with Eric sometime in person, ask him about the Coors Brewery and his experience there.
Yes.
So we'll just leave it at that.
But interesting. So my good friend Jess Whittington
Is Jess,
buddy of mine
a viewer of the show?
probably, maybe.
Good.
I think so. He went to he told me, he's an Army buddy of mine, and he told me that he went to the School of Mines in Golden, Colorado, also home of Coors Brewery. Yeah. So what got me was I misheard him, and he was kind of a jokester. I thought he meant School of Mimes.
I can't be a mime.
What?
I have never gone to the School of Mimes or the Mimes.
know Jess Whittington, it's not that far off.
Okay.
Although he was like an astrophysicist, and he's a brilliant person.
The School of Mimes.
Yeah.
So did you ask him to do a little number for you? Say, hey,
he
show us what
corrected me when he said he worked for NOAA, which then I'm like, oh, you got religious too?
Do you know what NOAA stands for? Not the guy with the ark.
No, I believe it's nautical aeronautics.
National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Did you know that I went to school, speaking of schools, I went to Texas A&M University for meteorology.
You didn't do agricultural or mechanical?
I did not do agriculture or mechanic or mimes or mines. So interesting, these schools, the School of Mines, they do way more than just teaching people how to mime. Or how to mine. Colorado being one of the probably the top states at one point for silver and gold mining.
Yep.
But now they do way more than that.
Actually, a lot of weather related stuff, which you, Johnny Cumulus, very much a passion. You could have ended up doing things in this area simply because of your interest where it lies. So NOAA has a big office here.
Yes.
That could have been a thing, but it's interesting, these things that kind of get attached to a name, but then end up being so much more of that, right?
What's in a name?
Zoom.
What is in the Zoom name these days? Because video's not in it anymore.
No, we took that out, just Zoom Communications. But we pack a lot more in there. We're so much more than just that meeting company.
That's a big deal because people don't necessarily understand that we became a verb during the pandemic. 2020, everyone knew what a Zoom call was. Yep. It was really the path of least resistance to making any level of phone calls over video.
Not just, it brought a richness to the conversation.
It did.
More than just one-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-many, and incorporating video because we found this huge social lacking in not being together. But then, and we have an interesting saying here that you will often hear, and it's video first. Not all video, not video last, but video first.
Yep.
And really, we talk about our contact center product, right? Contact center used to be known as call centers because that's the only way you'd communicate, phone call. Now it's contact because multimodal. We have video, call, SMS, web chat, Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp.
There's a ton of stuff that we have added to the product that makes it so much more than just the name that we all know. And that's, I think, a large part of, I think of the partner SE community, the small community that we have. There's 30 of us total around the globe, 30 plus management.
Ish,
so rough 40.
Little ish on there.
I don't know. I haven't even counted.
So you just made up the number.
Well, I know it's ish, yeah.
Okay.
So, but the point that I'm making is the large part of what I do in my role is educate partners of all of those other things.
Yes,
it's the other stuff
all the time,
that's the core.
When are we gonna get past that? What can we do?
I feel like we've turned I feel like we've turned a corner on that. Certainly with the name change, but I do think that I'm having less conversations around hey, did you know we did phone? And more conversations around, hey, have you seen workforce management?
Yeah.
Or have you seen visitor management? Or have you seen quality management? Or anything else with management in this?
There's a lot of management going on, people.
There is a lot of management, but there's not a lot of management. Zoom device management. What did all the management we do?
Workforce,
Did I get it all?
workplace, device.
We should just do an episode where we rattle
Quality.
off acronyms as well,
Oh,
just for you.
you just. We need a couple more beers with engineers before we do that episode. That's rough.